Hey guys, EnderHerve here. Going to be continuing the video I made a while ago. I said at the end of that video that I would do a video reading all the survey responses, and here it is. Don't ask why it took like I think almost 2 months for it to come out, but if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and watch that before you watch this one because this survey might not make sense if you don't watch the previous video. But yeah. Alright, so yeah, Pokemon Legends Arceus drops in a week. I know the whole game got leaked, but I'm dodging spoilers, so please don't spoil anything in the comments. I probably won't read them anyways because I'm completely off of social media. I'm really trying to dodge these spoilers, so you guys don't have to worry about me spoiling anything in this video. But since Legends Arceus is dropping next week, I figured I would just follow up the video that I made 2 months ago, because that video was really made because BDSP and Arceus were dropping. Quick little thoughts on BDSP. I think it was okay. A lot of bugs, a lot of exploits, but there was a lot of exploits in Sword and Shield, so I didn't really care about that. I think the chibi style was okay. The game looked graphically good to me, so I didn't really mind the chibi style. It did look ridiculous on certain characters, like Cyrus definitely looked weird, but that's besides the point. I did a Nuzlocke actually on my first run. I was able to beat it with only losing like 3 Pokemon. I'm rambling for too long here. You guys can skip to the when I start reading the thing. But so to get a Spirit Tomb right after like the second badge, you have to talk to, I think it was 20 some NPCs. That took me about 10 hours to do, but I got my Spirit Tomb. Usually you do that like post game so you can just keep refreshing the Grand Underground, and there's way more areas to explore, but since I had so limited areas to explore, it took a very long time. Now, I got that Spirit Tomb and I lost it in the 6th gym. So it was a very depressing moment. I replaced it with a Gengar, and that Gengar did take me through to Cynthia. That 4th Elite 4 member, terrible. She set up the screens on me. I had to literally play the game like I was playing competitive Pokemon for me to win the Elite Four and Cynthia, because they were not playing. Like, sure, the trainers and stuff were like really underleveled and really like easy, but the gyms and Elite Four, like any boss battle, was really hard. So yeah, I just wanted to let you guys know what I thought about BDSP. It was okay game, nothing too crazy, but let's get into these surveys. So yeah, like I said in the intro, you should go watch the other video, but just to reiterate what the survey was, there was 4 questions on the survey. I think 4 or 5. I'll name them all and I'll see how many there are. So the first question was, what's your favorite gen and why? Second question was, what's your least favorite gen and why? Third question was, do you think Pokemon has gone uphill, downhill, or stayed about the same over the years? And the fourth question was just a spot for you to say anything else you wanted to say about the games, Game Freak, etc. If you want to see my answers to these questions, once again, you're gonna have to go check out the video, because I'm not gonna re-answer them because I don't feel like it. Go check out the video that I uploaded 2 months ago. I'll put like an iCard. It'll probably be in the description, comment section, end cards. Like if you want to find the video, you can find it. It's not too far away. But yeah, I'm just gonna read off these responses. I'm not gonna like respond really to them. I'm just gonna like show them on the screen, read them off, so you guys can see what the people were saying and what the general consensus was really. Because I talk about how the general consensus was this and that in the video, but you guys didn't really get to see the full consensus, right? So here we go. So for the first response, we have Gen 1 as their favorite gen, Sword and Shield as their least favorite gen, and they say that they think Pokemon's going downhill. Downhill, I think they should try and experiment more like how they used to. Example, Pokemon Coliseum, Dungeons, and Go. Honestly, it's a fault that they let fans beat them to the MMO format, but hey, I doubt they would have done that right, TBH. Yeah, pretty simple response. They're just more into the spin-off games, or just the stuff that breaks the formula, that breaks the mold, that isn't just the standard starter, 8 gyms, blah blah blah. Which I can respect, because that's what I also mess with too. But I also like the main series games as well. So this is the one I read off actually in the video. They say Heart Gold because it's good as their favorite game. Sword and Shield because it's bad as their least favorite game. Downhill because it's bad when they're answering if it's been going downhill, uphill, or stayed about the same. And then for the extra stuff, they just put top of the morning a bunch of times, which was pretty funny. It made me laugh, so that's why I wanted to include it in the last video. Alright, for the third response, we have Pokemon X as their favorite Pokemon game, Generation 7 as their least favorite generation. They say it's definitely gone downhill. People are tired of the unoriginal and uninspired gameplay. Legend of Arceus is a welcome breath of fresh air. For the extra stuff, they say they have a lot of ideas and things they could be doing in Pokemon, but it seems like they always are going back to what works, and fans are tired of it. As well as the fact they are making it harder to keep your Pokemon if you are one of the few who literally caught them all. This is response number 4, I think. Generation 5 because Go-To-Dude as their favorite gen. Gen 6 because I have never played a game so boring as their least favorite gen. So do they think it's going uphill, downhill, or stay the same? They say, I think Pokemon is going downhill over the years since Gen 6, since it has been more and more catered towards toddlers ever since. That's a weird sentence, but we're gonna get past that. I can probably close my eyes and tell the fly in my room to play for me, and he can probably set a world record. For the extra stuff, they said, why did you give Tapu Lele and Tapu Fini play rough, but not Tapu Koko or Bulu? And that's just a perfect sum of a Pokemon fan right there. That's the that's true Pokemon right there. The fifth response, we have Smiley Face as their favorite Pokemon gen or game, Doodoo as their least favorite. As for if it's going downhill, uphill, or stay the same, they say downhill. I haven't played too many games, but for the little that I've played, the older ones, I've had much more fun playing them versus playing something like Sword and Shield. Sword and Shield Pokemon were kind of cheeks. Only a select few of them seemed kind of cool or decent, but the drastic change from good to bad was a little too much. There's just a lot wrong, which I agree with a lot actually. And then for the extra stuff, they said they're a mess. I don't know what that face is called, but you know, :3. You know the face. Response number 6. Gen 5 is their favorite gen because of OST, Pokemon, region, setting, tone, content, post-game and during game, and nostalgia. Least favorite Pokemon gen and game is Generation 8 because of region, summons, dex decisions, story, post-game, holy shit it was bad, tone, and its overall lazy feel. This also has to do with the whole video game industry as of now, where many studios feel justified, and usually do, to release unfinished and unpolished games and fix them with a day one patch or with an update later. They release content that was quintessential to the video game as paid down the line. I don't know who wrote this, but they killed that paragraph. Like they had the SAT words coming in. I don't know, that's besides the point. Uphill, downhill, or remained about the same. They say probably since Generation 6 has been going downhill in terms of story, with the lowest on Generation 8. For extra, they say Game Freak has gotten consistently lazy with their games. The dogs moving animation, you know what I'm talking about. If you don't know what they're talking about, I'll play the clip and you'll know what they're talking about. So for response number 7, we have what is your favorite Pokemon game or gen and why? Generation 4. Least favorite is Sword and Shield because it's just horrible. I need DLC for my Pokemon to follow me, DLC for legendaries, DLC for better endgame content, and they even tell you a Pokemon's type weakness. I can literally play the game by pressing A. If it's going downhill, uphill, or remain the same, say I think Pokemon has had its ups and downs in its road, but Sword and Shield has to be one of the worst games in its franchise, like both world interaction and story compared to the other games. How do you go from Black and White to Sword and Shield? However, whoever was in the studio for Sword and Shield should be removed immediately. Absolutely horrendous. Alright, for the first question, on response 8, they say Gen 4, more so Heart Gold and Soul Silver, but Diamond and Pearl were also great. The games had a good amount of difficulty to them, and I especially liked in Heart Gold and Soul Silver that Pokemon followed me, and the amount of legendary Pokemon I could seek out and catch. Least favorite Pokemon game is the first Sun and Moon because it was just kind of easy and Z moves were kind of dumb, but I did like the new Pokemon that were introduced. Also didn't like that the gyms were removed. For downhill, uphill stay the same. They say downhill ever since the existence of EXP sharing to all Pokemon, so I guess Pokemon X and Y. I thought the Megas were a good addition to the game though. And for the extra stuff, they say MS keep dropping the ball. Bro, IDK, MS need to start giving us this for real. And that is a link to, I think, what BDSP would have looked like if they just did Sword and Shield graphics instead of the chibi. I guess I could put the link as an iCard if you guys really want to see it, but I feel like most people have seen that video already. Alright, response number 9. For the first question, it says, 4th gen is my favorite. It was the first region I ever played through. It has a very unique and nostalgic feel. However, Black and White are my favorite games because it has unrivaled story and writing. My least favorite generation is 5. I think this is the one where they meant to say 6, but they said 5 instead. My least favorite generation is 5. I didn't like the Pokemon designs too much. However, I did appreciate it having the largest regional decks. So everywhere I went, it was nothing but new faces. My least favorite games are Sword and Shield. Though I believe gameplay and Pokemon designs were really well made, minus the way they handled Giganta/Dynamaxing. Story and writing were extremely lackluster, leaving not much to be desired through completing the game, resulting in players resigning themselves completely to exploring the wild areas. The reason why I say they meant Generation 6 because Generation 6 is the region with the largest regional deck, so I think they meant 6 because they literally just said that Black and White were the best games in their opinion, but now they're gonna say that least favorite gen is 5, so that wouldn't make sense, so that's what I think they meant. For uphill, downhill, or stay the same, here comes this big paragraph that I had to read. I believe Pokemon has all in all gone uphill. The main issue I have with the series nowadays is Game Freak being very experimental with the newer Switch titles, starting with the implementation of overworld encounters in Let's Go Pikachu and Eevee, then combining that with free camera and open world areas that led to the creation of Sword and Shield. I believe has been leading us to what seemingly be Game Freak's biggest Pokemon title yet, Legends Arceus, which will feature a more refined, open world experience that will feature everything we've received in previous games and more. This experimentalism, however, has led to less attention to other details that made the previous games feel so lacking, but with the experience that came from the creation of those previous titles, can assist in producing a proper and more refined final product, being Legends Arceus. Okay, for response 10, we have Gen 4 as their favorite gen. Part of it is nostalgia, first Pokemon games I ever played, but it is also the gen I will always be happy to replay. The gameplay feels smooth, the mons are cool, and the story is above average for Pokemon. What is your least favorite Pokemon? Is X and Y. Dog shit. The mons are whack, Lysander is whack, there was no post game which pissed me off as an 11-year-old. The only good aspect was Megan, which were improved up in, probably Megas right there, which were improved upon in Auras. Do you think it's going uphill, downhill, or stay the same? They say there was a significant dip between 5 and 6, but 7 and 8 were improvements. Both the graphics and competitive aspects have improved over time. The mons they've been coming up with have been pretty cool. The extra stuff they said is, Pokemon is sick. I think the only thing that is really missing is an increased difficulty mode to have more variety in the base gameplay. Masters gives me hope for the future, so I think that Pokemon is going to persevere for a while. Okay, for response 11, we got Gen 7 as their favorite gen. So they say Gen 7 because Gen 8 is boring and washed. Their least favorite is Gen 1 because no variety. Do you think Pokemon has been going downhill, uphill, will remain the same? They say overall the same, but right now it's in a slump. And then extra, they said giving mons shit abilities. So that's one of their problems that they have with Game Freak, I guess, is giving Pokemon shit abilities, being like probably just useless abilities that you would see no play in competitive, right? Response 12, first question, they say Gen 3 because of nostalgia. Gen 8, it felt so incomplete as their least favorite game. Do you think it's been going uphill, downhill, or stay the same over the years? They say downhill after Gen 5, TBH. Gen 7, Ultra Sun and Moon was fantastic, but it flopped in Gen 8. Extra stuff, they said bring back the whole decks. Response 13 is another one that I read off in the video. I hope you guys can see why I didn't read them all off in the video because, as you can see, there's 15 minutes of this and it's just 15 in total, so it's probably gonna end up being like 25 minutes, but I digress. The first question for response 13 says Hoenn, because it's chill, has good music, cool mons, and was the start of Pokemon trying new things. Had a lot of potential and room to expand the game, which Gen 4 enhanced some of the new features of the game, which changed the game forever. For their least favorite gen, they say Gen 8. It felt rushed and incomplete, had potential, but it did not live up to the expectation that the developers should have withheld and even promised. BS Dex cut. I think that Pokemon has gone downhill overall since Gen 5. I feel that Gen 5 was a peak of Pokemon at some point. They added moving animations for Pokemon, which brought them to life. It was also highly competitive at the time. It had its problems, but every Pokemon game has its own problems. However, Gen 5 had a great story, cast, and tons of Pokemon new and old. There was a lot of room for new possibilities and even the new Dream World abilities, which was a cool way to add something new to different mods. I think Gen 6 was really cool and had potential but fell short. It felt a bit shallow and incomplete. They marketed Megas as toys and played favorites, which is understandable at first, but at a later point in Gen 6 or as Megas should have been used as a balancing mechanic instead of making more broken mons. But to backtrack to Kalos, the region was cool. The 3D style was new and fresh. There was a lot of cool and viable Pokemon from the region. Some could have been better, and there was a lot of room to expand on the weaker implementations of Kalos. For hypothetical, holy crap! I'm sorry. I try to get this all done in one take. With a hypothetical Pokemon Z to complete the X and Y trilogy, diving into the lore of Zygarde and expanding on the strengths that were shown in X and Y. However, Pokemon failed to deliver, as Kalos just felt like a very quick and overlooked region, with the introduction to Oras, then Sun and Moon. Either way, I've divulged from the question too far already. There were small things about each game and gen as they flowed from one to the next that I personally feel has decreased the series quality over the years. For the extra stuff they say, personally I feel that Game Freak needs to put more efforts and care into the game and make it good all around. I see that they put a lot of their efforts into certain aspects of their game, like the newness factor mainly, and they focus very little on longevity. I understand it's a Pokemon game, it doesn't necessarily need longevity, as they can probably will make a new game every few years. Whether it be a remake or something new, the Pokemon games are typically... Whether it be a remake or something new. Pokemon games typically don't have much playability after you play the story. By no means am I asking for them to focus heavily on post-game, as some games and regions will just naturally do this better than others. However, it would be nice to have them fully flesh out a game in all of its aspects to a good extent overall, and keep its greatness where it's great. I'm being very general, but it's hard to not go into too much detail about this being more of an informal essay than it already is. For response 14, the answer to the first question is Generation 4 is my favorite gen. However, my favorite Pokemon game is most certainly by far Pokemon Black because of N. N is the greatest Pokemon character ever and greatest villain ever by a mile because of his philosophy. His goal is that he has to set Pokemon free from human oppression, and the idea that humans use Pokemon for the selfish reasons more than for actual good. He wanted to gather the legendaries to create a world where Pokemon and humans live separately, but mainly free Pokemon from being able to be used by humans for bad intentions. However, throughout the story, due to how you bond so well with your Pokemon, it shows N a different perspective and gives him the ability to see both sides and even change his heart in the end, displaying amazing character development as well as an incredible showing of a villain actually having a very deep thought and having a goal that isn't simple: take over the world. Type of stuff, it goes more into philosophical questions like should Pokemon really be caught and kept under the care of humans? It makes you question if he is right or not. That is what is amazing about his character. He is by far the greatest character Pokemon has ever had by a mile, and nothing in Pokemon has ever went that deep into something ever. Second question is, for my least favorite gen, I'd have to say Gen 2. Not great new Pokemon other than a few. The game itself in terms of story was really not that great, and overall it's gotten the least of love out of all the gens. By not getting any Megas or not getting buffs to any of Gen 2 Pokemon. Which is sad because if they did give buffs or Megas to these Gen 2 Pokemon, I feel like Gen 2 could really shine. However, for my least favorite Pokemon game, it's close, but it's between Sword and Shield and Oras. Both of them are plain and utter shit. I'm sorry if you like them, and that's okay. Everybody has its preferences, but Jesus, Sword and Shield had one of the worst stories ever. None of the characters are interesting in the slightest. And keep in mind that it's the latest Pokemon game and has no great improvements from all the others. Same game and story as since Red, Blue, and Yellow. They cut content for the game literally in Pokemon and moves just because Game Freak is lazy and decided, oh yeah, we don't feel like coding this shit into the game, so we're not gonna do it. And then decided to make us spend another $40 to buy the content as the DLC. They literally are pulling an EA on you, though. Anyways, it is a very trash game overall. Oras was also pretty shit. The coolness in terms of some of the new Megas and stuff were made was cool, like the Primals, unless you play competitive Pokemon, in which case you hated Oras even more. However, nothing much was added in the game aside from the Megas. Well, aside from Mega Rayquaza event thing, that wasn't much content anyways. Same graphics as X and Y, which isn't the worst thing, but I would have liked to see more improvements. But yeah, wasn't horrible, but wasn't great either. For sure, and overall, on competitive, that meta was cancer for yeah. Overall, though, I gotta say it's probably Sword and Shield that I least like. If I sound a little like irritated or like I'm struggling or I'm just paraphrasing what's on the screen, it's because I just read that thing like 4 times over because I kept messing up, but I got it. Alright, so if they think downhill, uphill, or stayed about the same, they said going downhill in terms of content for sure, with the stuff they're doing now, and because of the fact that they haven't done something different ever for the past 25 years. However, one thing I will give them props for is Legends Arceus. Has potential, but TBH, with Game Freak's reputation up until this point, with constantly producing the same stuff for the last 25 years and never making anything new, on top of that, they started pulling EA moves and removed content for the game and then added it as DLC, just so they can gain a little more couple dollars off of you, is scumbag type of moves. So yeah, I don't hold any good expectations from that company anymore. Don't expect it to be good, but if it's a good game, I'll be happy, and I'll be happy for someone that enjoys the game. Low expectations to not be bummed if it isn't good. But if it turns out to be good, then I'll be glad. And for the extra stuff, they just put a thumbs up. Alright, last but not least, response number 15. For the first question, they say, Generation 3, I love a lot of the Pokemon from the generation, and I played through that game with my father for the first time when I was young. For the second question, it's Generation 7. I dislike most of the designs and Pokemon and overall feeling of the generation. For if it's going uphill, downhill, or stayed about the same, I think overall the quality and love and care seems to be going downhill overall. There are many great things the company and games have to offer throughout the recent games. Even Gen 7 has some great things added. And for the extra part, they say, I think that overall Game Freak is a great company and is constantly stuck between a rock and a hard place. It wants to make new games and add more to the Pokemon world, but also appease its overall very picky and very demanding fan base that it already has. Due to this, it feels like sometimes they make some bad decisions trying to accomplish both. But overall, I like their games and their decisions on a large scale. Alrighty, so that's all of the answers I got from the survey. I think I'm gonna leave the link to the survey down in the comment section or in the description, just in case any of you that are watching want to do it. If you already did it, you can probably do it again, but don't do that because it's gonna mess up the results. But I won't do another video like this unless it like really just blows up, and I'll just look at the good ones and say them again. But yeah, if you guys want to take the survey, you can go ahead and do that. I'll leave the link in the description. A little bit of some closing thoughts from me. As you can see, the Pokemon fandom is like very split, right? Not every single person in the survey wanted the same thing, or not everyone thought the same thing. it was pretty unanimous that Gen 8 was the worst gen, but for those who said different gens, they bring up reasons that may seem fine to most Pokemon fans, right? Like one of the Gen 7 dislike people were like, oh, they removed gyms, I didn't like that. Which I guess you could not like that, but to someone else it might not be like to me, basically, to me, because I'm a big Gen 7 fanboy. I'm very offended by that. I'm just kidding. But yeah, to someone like me, I'm like, removing gyms didn't really change too much of the vibe for me. It still felt like, because trials were, I think, more interesting and more fun than gyms, anyways. But yeah, Legends Arceus is dropping in a week. Very excited for that. I'm gonna be doing a Let's Play on my channel, like I said. Hopefully, I can get everything I need for that soon. And yeah, I hope you guys can join me on that journey, because that game is probably gonna go crazy. I hope it goes crazy. But yeah, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.